How many of you have heard of that verse in the Bible? Call upon me, and I will answer thee, and show you great and mighty things you do not know. How many of you know that? I think it's Jeremiah 33:3. How many are you familiar with that verse? I'm familiar with it. It was one of the first verses that I attached holo when I began to see God was real and alive and cared about me here on earth. What does that mean though? I mean, does that mean all of a sudden I'm going to hear his voice and he's going to explain it all? He's going to show me great and wonderful things? Not necessarily. Maybe not that way. God's ways are totally different than our ways. So it's really hard for us to figure him out, but yet his word says, draw near to me. Or what about the verse that says, when you boast that you know and understand me? Okay, so it's possible for us to get close to him. And when he says, call upon me and I will answer thee, that's a step of faith for us to believe that's true. And when we do walk in faith and believe that what he said is true, bottom line, he said he will reveal things to us one way or another. We don't know how that's going to come. I mean, have you ever thought about how is he going to answer me? I keep waiting. But the point of it is that his word also says, my ways are not your ways. My timing is not your timing, or your timing is not my timing. But the point of all that too is that we draw close to him and we believe in faith that what he says is true. That if he says he will reveal something to us, then we wait on that. We keep looking for it. We keep waiting for it. Spiritual things, they just don't appear if you're busy moving around and so distracted by this world and the things of the world, chasing after this and that. It's like in order to really be able to hear him, see him in things, you got to calm your mind down and be in the present, looking for him at all times, looking for an answer, looking for his presence, looking for his will. A lot of the Bible talks about not my will, but your will, God. So what does that look like? What does his will look like? It's all faith. Every bit of it is a walk of faith. Am I just weird, or have you guys came across this too? Is it a normal thing for people that know the Lord that wonder, is your word really true? Do you really mean you got me in all circumstances and all things? Can I count on you? That is where faith comes in. One day at a time. Also, one step at a time. 1 second at a time. We need to just walk in faith and believe. We talked before about I can get all the knowledge I'm supposed to get and keep it in my head. But until I begin to walk it out, it doesn't become living faith. Part in the Bible where Moses was taking the people across the desert. Remember the Israelites? God was freeing them from the Egyptians. And they had to walk by faith that whole journey. And anything in the Bible, especially a lot of Old Testament stuff, is for our learning to see what happened and how God dealt with his people. And we are his people. Even in the New Testament, we are his people. But Moses' walk and all the Israelites' people's walk were one step at a time. If you remember that when the Red Sea parted, it didn't part until they placed a foot. They had to step forward. They had to walk by faith. They had to do action. It didn't part before they put their foot in it. They had to put their feet in it and begin to walk. And then it began to part. And that's no different than the life that we're living out here on earth, that it's a walk of faith, that we have to show some action. I mean, certainly it's not crazy, I'm going to do this decision no matter what. It's knowing that we have the confidence in the Lord, that what his word says is true, and facing our fears and doing those things that we're uncomfortable with. I've heard a thing said one time that when you're not uncomfortable in life, you're not growing. You've got to begin to be a little bit uncomfortable in things in order to push through it and grow. It's the other side of fear is what it really is. If you have a fear of going somewhere, doing something, You need to do it. You need to push through it. And like I said, this is all through the leading of the Lord. It's not just like blind faith. It isn't blind faith. We're not walking actually in blind faith. God says he'll make our paths straight. He'll make our paths plain. And I've always prayed that because I'm a little thick-headed. I keep going around. There's times in my life I went around the same block. I don't know how many times because I couldn't get it. But God saw my heart, and he saw that I wanted to understand. One of God's words that I absolutely love is that he wants us to love us with our whole heart. Not sinless perfection. That's not what it's about. It's wholeheartedness, because that's what he sees is our heart. That's the very center of our being on who we are. There's nobody that's like us. We were uniquely made, and honestly, we were uniquely made for a relationship with him, which is a personal relationship. Nobody has the same type of relationships. We're all different. We were all made different. So think about these things too when you live your life, and when you begin to be paralyzed by fear, and when you begin to think that God's not going to answer you, because he is going to. But remember too, it'll be on his timing, not our timing. And remember, his ways are different than our ways. So just a little tidbit. Thanks for watching.